Okay, let's start with the four-wheel drive. Hopefully the refresh rate on the camera isn't the same as the refresh rate on the screen. But this truck is, this is the Ford F-250 2019 with the Power Stroke diesel. And we have the rear differential lock. We have two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive low. And then it's really windy, so hopefully you can still hear this. We have these hubs, and they are either auto locking, which is where it's set to, or you can manually lock them in. That is because the auto lock is a vacuum style. It uses vacuum pressure to lock it. So if you ever have an issue with the vacuum, you can manually lock them in. So I want to show you first everything it can do. So right now we're in two-wheel drive, and all you do is pull up on that, and you can see right here the rear differential is locked, and it shows it over there as well. So this is the off-road page that gives you more information. And then you can do that in four-wheel drive high as well, and it tells you four-wheel drive shift in progress. And now the blue bars here show that it's powered of both the front and rear differential. If you drop it down into neutral, then you can shift it into four-wheel drive low. And there it goes, it went in. It turns off your, no, it did not go in yet. Anyway, it turns off the stability control. Yeah, it should be in now. Okay, and then so we'll demonstrate climbing the hills, the little articulation test with all of those different settings. The difference between 4 high and 4 low is not much because this truck has so much torque, but there are definitely times when you want to use 4 low. And the fact that you can have the differential locked in two-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive high, and four-wheel drive low is pretty awesome. A lot of trucks only let you lock that differential when you're in 4 low. So let's go ahead and set you up and show you the difference between two-wheel drive with traction control, two-wheel drive with the rear differential locked, four-wheel drive without the rear differential locked, and then four-wheel drive with it locked. And we won't do 4 low versus 4 high because, again, there's no point with how much torque this has. I can actually feel a difference there when it's locked versus unlocked. So right now we're in four-wheel drive and those hubs are already locked, and this is super easy to turn. So I can tell it's not engaging anything. When I'm in two-wheel drive and I twist that, I can feel it engage the hub.
So here we only got to about a 20-degree side slope, and it feels a lot more than that. It feels pretty scary, like the truck's gonna tip, but we're actually not even close to tipping over.
Alright, let's go over the interior real quick. This truck is basically the highest end model. Sorry, close the window. So this is the limited trim. You see limited, has the VIN number there, made in 2019 or 2019 model year, and then the number is 1408. and it is the Power Stroke. So up here we have the diesel exhaust brake, traction control, the flashers, downhill assist, or whatever they want to call that, lane keep, and then your different cameras. It has the surround view cameras. That's the front camera right now, but you can switch it to do the front and the two sides. You can do this one's in the bed, looking into the bed of the truck, just the surround view, and then also the reverse camera too. This auxiliary one, you can add on another camera for a trailer or whatever on the back of your trailer, whatever you want to do. So this automatically switches to the backup cam. When you put it in reverse, you can zoom in. If you're hooking up a hitch, trailer, or whatever to it, you can zoom in and see that. It has everything, so heated seats, cooled seats on the front. The rear outboard seats are heated. Dual climate zones, trailer brake controller built in, 4-wheel drive with the rear differential lock, all the different multimedia systems, and basically just everything you could ask for in a vehicle. This thing has it. The inverter, tons of storage room in there. There's a lot of space in this thing. It's just massive, and very nice leather, soft to the touch, high quality materials. The Ram's a little bit nicer inside for the same price, but this thing has a lot of features. You also have your auxiliary switches here. If you want to hook up whatever lights or a snow plow or a winch, whatever you're hooking up, you have those features. Sunglass holder that does actually fit my sunglasses, no problem. Which my sunglasses are curved, so that doesn't happen all the time. Also has the panoramic roof, so all your passengers can have a clear view. Let some light in for you. The power rear window as well. Just all the features, upgraded sound system. Over here we have these trailer tow mirrors. If you push this button right here, it extends those mirrors out both sides. Same thing, you push it on the other side, brings them back in. You can fold the mirrors, which is nice for a vehicle this wide. It's also got the bed lights, the cargo. It has them up high, but it also has them in the back of the bed too. The fog lights on this thing, let's go ahead and do the fog light check. It's a little windy, so I'll do my talking inside, but flip the headlights to parking lights. Go ahead and hit the fog light button. Now, let's try that again. Sorry, I had it messed up. There you go, fog lights are on, headlights are not on. This LED panel, that's just the daytime running lights or the park lights. So it does pass the fog light test, which I thought it did. You just have to be smart enough to work the system. So the one thing about the Ford is it beeps at you for everything, but there's the fog lights right there. So when I hit that button, fog lights on or off. It also has adjustable pedals right here, and the drop tailgate. You push that button, it'll drop the tailgate for you, which is convenient when you're hooking up a gooseneck. Of course, all your steering wheel controls, adaptive cruise control, all your radio and stuff's controlled from here. It's not as good as the Uplay system from Ram, especially if you have satellite radio, because you can scan through satellite stations one at a time from the steering wheel really easily. This system's not quite as easy, but you can still manage it. We used this truck for training, where we were teaching a group of journalists, you know, how to hook up and unhook trailers and towing basics and how to back up and a bunch of that stuff. So we did tow a bunch with it, 3 different trailers. The heaviest was only about 7,000 pounds maybe, so nothing real heavy, and of course this thing pulls that no problem. It is a 3/4 ton, so it's rated, ooh, it's so windy I can barely open the door, but get the VIN tag. Rated at 10,000 pounds right there, and the payload is 2,033. So let me jump back inside. Hopefully you got that. It's rated to 10,000 pounds, which is the maximum for a Class 2 vehicle. But oddly enough, Chevy rates their 2500 at 10,640. At least the one we had this week was rated at that, and which puts it in a class 3 for the businesses and stuff like that. It means you have to register it and put your number stickers on the side of it, and you have to have a medical card to drive it. So a lot of manufacturers, maybe 10 years ago, they wouldn't cross the 10,000 pound line even with the F350 and the 3500 trucks, but now the 3500 trucks are beyond that, and they're kind of keeping the 2500 trucks at that 10,000. Seems like Chevy's gone beyond that now. There was one other feature here I wanted to show you. It has the exhaust brake, but it has 3 modes if you count off as a mode, but it has on, automatic, and off. So you can set that on as soon as you let off the gas. It'll flip the exhaust brake on, and if you switch it to automatic, it's kind of smart, so when you push on your brake, it'll turn it on and just kind of does its best to do what it thinks you want. And then with it off, obviously it doesn't do anything to help slow you down. I believe that was about everything that I wanted to show you in here. You can check out the back seat. It's very roomy, so even with car seats in, you can step up in there between the car seat and the front passenger seats. I'm 5'10", that's where I set my seat when I drive, and there's plenty of room here. It has, in the bed, it has the man step, as Chevy used to call it in their commercials, but that step that comes out of the tailgate, which is convenient at times. With a trailer hooked on it, you can't really use it, but we used it quite a few times, setting up the gooseneck stuff, putting the hitch ball and the hooks in the bed and all that, and backing up to the gooseneck. Then we would not be able to use it when we actually were connecting to the gooseneck because there wasn't enough room for it. I really feel like there was one other thing I wanted to show you. Oh yes, the seats. So go into settings. It doesn't go that way, so we'll go over here, and the multi-contour seats. So these seats, every driver found them uncomfortable, which is odd because they have so much adjustability, but you can see we have it all the way as low as it can go on. This is the lumbar, and you can adjust it at 3 different heights, but it's too high. I mean, there's too much lumbar support even on the lowest setting possible. On the flip side of that, you have the massage feature. It massages the bottom and the back, and you can adjust it, whichever you want on or off. That is nice to have sometimes. I found that I didn't really use it that much. So that is a cool thing I've only seen in the Ford, that the Ram and the Chevy don't have. There was a lot of weird things with the lane keep assist, where it would only vibrate coming back into the lane after you'd left it. It seemed like it was struggling a little bit when we had the trailer attached. Overall it worked pretty well, but there were just a few times where it did struggle. Okay, I'm not going to get very much outdoor shots just because it's so windy, and I didn't get any pulling the trailer because I was focused on teaching the course, and I spaced setting up cameras. So anyway, that's the Ford F-250 2019 model year. Actually, let's look inside of the engine bay, even if you can't hear me talk because of the wind. They were joking that Ford does the gallon of water test, which means they take a gallon of water and dump it into the engine bay, and if any of it hits the ground, they need to redesign it. And that was more of just a joke because it is so tight in there you can't do anything. So let's take a look. Okay, there you go, 6.7 power stroke. I'm sure it's not picking up any of this because of wind, so I'll do the voiceover. But see how tight it is in there. I'll show you the Ram as well in an upcoming video with the Cummins diesel, and you'll see that there's a lot more room. So these tires are actually 34 inches tall. And I'll get in and get you a close-up of it. I believe it's a 275 65 R20. There's the man step with the handle. It is convenient. These trucks are super tall now. It's kind of crazy how tall they are. Here in the bed, we have this button. It turns on the lights in the bed and up there on the back of the cab. Also, of course, the gooseneck setup with the 7-pin plug there in the bed. You can actually put away the man step one-handed. This one has a 2.5-inch receiver, which is great. The 3-inch is kind of overkill. They don't need to go to 3-inch, but they did. So let's get the close-up on the tire. They're the Michelin LTX AT2, which a lot of manufacturers are using. I think the 1-ton GMCs have the same tire, different size, but 275 65 R20s. That is a really tall tire for a stock truck. Ford does have these lights that project forward. It is nice. And it's a big truck. It's tall, it's long, it's just big overall. We were comparing, we have a 2017 GMC 4-door long bed. This thing's barely shorter than that. And this is the 4-door short bed. It's probably 22 or 23 feet long in the long bed, guys. Probably about 21.5 feet long in the short bed. It is diesel. It has the fill def tank here where you fill it up. I'm surprised it was not capless. Maybe they're not doing those on the diesels yet. Automatic step that drops down when you open the door. And again, just tons of space here, plenty of power outlets to go around. 2 USBs and then the 110 volt outlet and a regular 12 volt up there. Vents back there for the passengers. Oops. And heated seats back here for the outboard passengers. It still has this entry, which I do like. Occasionally it's nice to lock your keys in the car, and you can use that to get in. All right, we'll call it quits.